truly hates men. Okay, I'm seeing it more and more every day. I feel like Piper Boy pause. I'm looking outside and I'm seeing things. You understand? So this is a very sad time when a man done worked his entire life. Listen, don't worry about his razor bumps in the facial hair that he may not have. Okay, that ain't. Don't worry about that. Okay, we're not here to talk about that. What we're here to talk about is a man who had a dream, and he had a dream of, I've been working my whole life, so I should be able to safely get buns from these two young down bad thoughts. Okay, and he thought I'm not sure how they met and everything, right? But the age gap thing is not going nowhere. First of all, it never went nowhere. But as far as like this weird time we lived in, where like dick policing was like very much a thing, because niggas don't realize, fam, your penis is very much policed. Okay, especially if you a black man. If you're a black man, like your woman really feels as though she can tell you who you can sleep with. When like my nigga, the other Williams sister finally got married. You know what I mean? She found her Brad that looked just like her husband's sister. So listen, I don't want to hear nothing about how women are different. Okay, y'all want what you see the other one with, and secretly, I feel like y'all think that they ain't shit. So if they have anything nice, you feel like, all right, well, I know I look better than her. I feel like that's how like a lot of y'all think. But anyway, but going back to what's going on here, so we have I might share the whole thing on from the YouTube. I actually had this on YouTube too. But anyway, so a man claims two women he invited over on Christmas were allegedly plotting to rob him the entire time. So let's look in the comment section. So what people mostly wanted to comment on was basically the fact that you're an older man and you shouldn't be hanging out with these young women, right? And this is like a commentary that you hear a lot, and a lot of it has to do again with dick policing, and also really the policing of black men across time and space, across the world. All men who have means deal with younger women, right? Because that's the whole point of having the means, period. And when women are young and in their prime and whatnot, and they riding the boat, all right, it's all good that it's the older guy driving the boat. You know what I mean? When they need resources, when they need help, when they need information, they need something fixing. Listen, as Coach always say, when they need their bonds fixed, it's all good. And that's what I'm saying. Who you around matters, yo. Because listen, a lot of loser, what can I say? And listen, that's also the loser mindset. Part of the loser mindset is not wanting to compete. Because on one hand, right, yes, you may be able to talk your way out of competition. Because it's about older women competing with young women. And it's something that Kevin Samuels pointed out when he was alive, which was that, well, older women need young women to feel that way or think that way so that they have someone to date. Because, again, 30, 40 years ago, it wasn't as common for a woman to be on a date in her 40s or really still on the prowl in her 40s. There was no dating apps. And the thing is that the wall is still the wall. But bigger than anything, people mostly just don't want men to get what they want. To the point where, my nigga, you wanting to date a younger woman or be around younger women should not mean that you got to worry about some YNs trying to come into your house. That's fucking crazy, fam. So you see in the comment section, somebody wrote, "Oh, he thought he was him." It's fucking crazy. Now we got a brother right here who's really spotting the money. My man said, "This is why I don't talk to girls with edges like that." Let me tell you something. Let me show you his edges, because we're gonna talk about where he went wrong. This right here, you do not bring. Listen, if they got their hair done this way, you do not bring them to your house. These are hotel girls. He would have been way safer in the hotel, right? And these are things that Coach be talking about too, right? And Coach always talk about there's a no strag policy. It just makes way more sense, right, for you to take really good care of yourself. If you want to date younger women, there is a way to go about it. But anyway, let's play the video first. We're gonna speak on it a little bit, and then we're gonna keep moving. So these are the YNs right here.
They were running around, running back and forth in my front yard, trying to figure out how they could penetrate or try to make the arrangements to get inside my house. I had invited a lady friend to come to my residence and spend some time with me, and we're listening to music, watching videos, and having a few drinks.
But he says that woman and another were plotting to rob him the whole time.
So someone said the first problem here is not that they tried to write. Again, someone wrote this shit. But what these people are saying is, you deserve to be a victim. You deserve what you get. This is how people really think about men. And this is why men have to realize, fam, you are alone. You are alone, especially when it comes to your problems. And this is why you gotta go for self. One of the things that I love about the last relationship I was in was that I took a lot of chances and did things and tried things. Like I have to try a lot of things on her that I never tried before, right? And I learned that okay, being this way works. Being this way will you'll maintain attraction. You'll maintain basically the chemistry needed for y'all to have a sexual relationship and stuff like that. But it's not things that she's really going to tell you, because for the most part, modern women are obsessed with making sure you don't have any kind of advantage, and that you don't really enjoy them, because again, the people you're around train you. Like I was saying, like with Kendrick, right? From the first time I heard Good Kid, Mad City, I didn't really realize what was going on. I remember feeling like, I thought it was a cool album and everything, and I had songs in there that I liked, but a lot of it, like I made myself like it. I didn't realize like that he's making me make myself like this, because everyone was talking about how good the album was, and it just didn't really hit me like that at first, because it was I think it was a good concept. I thought it was a cohesive album at the time, and there's still, I think it's a good album. I'm not saying it's a bad album, but again, it has its own space and its own lane. There's not really much vibe on there. It's not really a lot of joints on there that you can play now. It's going to take niggas back and have niggas in their pocket. Now, Section 80, ADHD, because ADHD got mad bounce. On Section 80, Kendrick got mad joints with bounce on it. You know what I mean? That's another thing, too. Like, yo, when you doing hip-hop in general, you better off having an album full of bounce versus you trying too hard to do other shit, especially if you're not able to execute it. But anyway, going back to the original point, so you have a lot of victim blaming here. So I'm gonna read it again. The first problem here is that not that they tried to rob you, but it's the fact that you were old enough to be their father or uncle. Because what exactly were you trying to do with them? He was trying to smash, my nigga. What do you mean what he was trying to do with them? These are fucking adults. It's like, knock this shit off. It's weird. Again, the fam, it's weird. We got a lot of young men can recall either having an actual sexual experience with a woman who was way older than them, or a relationship of some kind, especially if you were like an attractive young man. If you were an attractive young man, you had at least one woman who tried to be your girlfriend and was serious about being your girlfriend too when you were younger, or you've had sexual encounters and experiences with older women. Not only that, you got Tracy Ellis Ross and Tia Mowry. Now, with Tia Mowry, it's more legend, but we know Tia Mowry, again, when women get older, they have to go after broke young dudes. All right? Guys that live with their mother, because, again, your best bet is trying to be someone's mom. They don't, like get the whole Catwoman thing out your mind when you get past, like, 35. You need to go ahead and get in there with someone and just have a good attitude and be positive. Okay? And just, really work on doing vows of silence. I think if more women took vows of silence, your relationship will go a whole lot better. You know what I mean? And just vows of like no emotion. I'd rather you just be stoic and don't say shit. They always got an attitude and always show me your feelings and shit like that. But anywho, so let's play the other video.
Watch as the women go in and out of the home over and over. Then at least 3 men arrive at the door. One woman walks out. She then tells them to go away.
I was getting alerts from my phone that they were going in at my door, and they were running back and forth.
You got people saying, leave them young hoes alone. Somebody wrote, date your own age. You tried the trick and got a treat. So, what's also crazy is the fact that, all right, so I'm going to ask you an important question. So, when you old hoes is online talking shit and talking this high standard shit and talking about basically how to have the most, like, substanceless relationship possible, right? And basically have really, really much more of a trick and prostitute type of relationship where you don't do nothing. Like y'all keep trying to convince men that you never touch pots and pans. I've heard women like I've seen women make videos talking about my mother doesn't cook, I don't cook, this and that. So you mean to tell me that every time you eat, you've gone to you've gone and gotten takeout to eat all 3 meals a day or to eat what the fuck are you talking about? I'm getting so tired of y'all coming online and talking about lives that we know you don't live. It's weird, man. It's strange, man. It's strange, and we deserve better as a whole. All right. So I want to expand on this other point. So if you got these young girls watching y'all online talking this shit, right? Which if you go to any level up channel, y'all talk about women talk about you getting a sugar daddy all day long. And telling, I remember one time I overheard a conversation with some women, and one of them say, if I could do it all again, I wouldn't have kids, and I wouldn't got married, and I would just got a sugar daddy and travel the world. Like I'm like, first of all, slow down. The likelihood of you securing a sugar daddy is so low, right? Not only that, that whole culture, being as though that there are online sites that facilitate this now. It is easier than ever that if you want to come off some paper, you can meet someone who wants to have an arrangement or just something going on, which is the best thing for men with money. But I'm going to explain why it's effed up and where he went wrong at. But I'm going to finish my point when it comes to the example being set for the young girls. Why wouldn't the young women, again, we're in 2025 now. Y'all been pushing this shit for 5 years now. So when these women, well, I don't know how old they were, but let's say they're 20 years old or something like that, right? When these girls was 15, that was 5 years ago in 2020 when Level Up, sugar baby content became really, really popular. Because during the pandemic, content in general, especially relationship content in general, became really popular. And also when the economy started changing, women started becoming more and more desperate for money. That's where you start seeing a lot of women, one way or another, whoring themselves out. Whether you want to do a little OnlyFans, you want to sell some feet pictures. That became a very common thing. And also, a younger woman that's growing up in this era has a hard time seeing how selling pictures of her breast is like not worth it, or like it's really unethical. It's like really a mistake that like a thing you shouldn't be doing. But in her mind, like she thinks, all right, well, I'm getting $50. You know what I'm saying, she also Tupac shit. She says, I made a G today, but you made it in a sleazy way. All right. So why wouldn't the young girls be on this? You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that as much as y'all want it to stop, it's not going to stop. Because as the economy gets tougher, right? And also, too, now that you have more online dating, these younger women have an easier time linking up with older guys. Because they've wised up to, you know what? No, I'm going to get a guy who has a car and has his own space. No, I'm going to get with a guy so I can start my life. I'm not going to struggle for all of my prime. Because that's what it's going to be. If you're a younger woman, right? If you don't get with a guy that's about at least 10 years older than you, if you want to have a serious relationship, for several reasons. For one, you want to be the younger woman in his eyes always, all right? And you want to be able to always be able to compete with other women. Because the older you are, the faster you get older, right? And also, he has more time to enjoy you, like in your prime. And one other thing too is that what this comment section reeks of is it's really fucked up because there's this thing. This is an expectation of black men in particular, and it's really an expectation of only of black men. I feel like, right, which is that you need to, especially if you're older, you need to be willing to take all of the women who have several kids who are in their 30s and 40s off the market. Fuck going forward. The best thing that you can get that also wants you back. No. You need to go get you an old used Ford pickup truck. Okay, you need to go listen because of your age. You need to be driving an '05. You need to be driving a 2010. That's how y'all sound. Y'all don't be telling y'all old ass aunties who they gotta be fucking. I wish I could pull this video up right now. This lady was 68 years old. We're talking about her boyfriend 26, and he's sitting there with his broke down. Man, that nigga was so down bad. That nigga appeared on camera in his do-rag. Don't get me wrong. I know I had a do-rag on, but under here I'm groomed. Okay? This society hates me. But let me explain. for the guys out here who are watching, and again, don't misunderstand this whole thing right here. Where Unc messed up at is, and listen, I gotta give it to the brother in the comment section. He said, "Yo,
that there was
this is why I don't date girls who have edges like that." Don't get me wrong. I love a good baby here, but I know what time it is especially when they ain't done good, especially when they forcing the issue, and both of them is kind of forcing the issue. Not gonna lie, how old is the girls? But anywho, the young women need help with their bills, right? Their mother and father are not able to support them into adulthood. And these girls is working. And also, you gotta realize that Gen Z is the laziest generation ever. So you actually are gonna start seeing like again the huge age gaps. Because again, like they're online, they're getting put on game, and this kind of thing is not going to stop. But for the older men out there, you know, you got to really vet, and you won't have to just spend the money. You won't have to spend the money to get a better quality of women, and you know you got to really make sure that they're not coming from a certain kind of environment. You cannot deal with hood chicks if you want to deal with young women. You cannot deal with chicks that's ghetto at all. Because there's always a chance that this is going to happen. Because this is a thing that women have always done, which is set niggas up, you know, and you know, kind of bring that street element into dating, which is wild. Like this is the same way that the Max B case went down. Now Max B might not have been there and whatnot, but it was the same thing where this guy thinks, all right, boom, I done paid the fare. I did what I had to do. Now it's time to collect, and then. You know what I mean? You just getting God smacked. So all right, there is that. There is that. I wanted to start with that story, so we have that. Okay, great. Check my levels. Check the mic. We good. We straight, y'all. Let's see what we got here. I don't know who this is. Matter of fact, you know what? I mean, I don't know as much to say about this right here, but I saw this online earlier, and it was saying, Claudia Jordan shares the harsh truth about dating in your 40s and gives advice to black women. You think when you are ready to settle down, it will be a lot of supply on the shelf, and it's not. All right? Which is, I mean, I think it's kind of a dead horse at this point. I don't think it's going to change anything. And I've come to accept that, yo, things are going to go how they're going to go. I don't think it's going to be, like earlier, right? I had a conversation. And someone was saying, you know, this is why we need to have male to female conversation. And I'm like, you know what? I be forgetting that some people don't have the same algorithm that I have where they watch relationship content, all right? And everyone's not into that. Me personally, I happen to be someone who is very much interested in relationships. So where I am mentally, where I'm at my journey, I'm past the desire to talk things out or try to make a deal. I'm past that. So my focus is mainly, I think a lot of guys who are trying to get to that bag. You trying to become a millionaire. You trying to get to 200,000 a year, 500K a year. When you trying to get up there, especially when you're a little bit older, you realize that you can't have no distractions. You can't have no time lost because you was going through a breakup. You just can't afford it. Because you'll lose everything living like that. A lot of guys, you never know what they could have became if they hadn't been in that bad relationship, and hadn't been caught up in, you know, just this cycle of misery and, you know, flaccid penises. I'm saying it's fucking crazy. But the Wall's undefeated, and you know, here we are. We have someone like Claudia Jordan, very attractive woman. She's, you know, just as attractive as a lot of young women. This is really a rare thing. You know, a woman has to be very attractive to be in her 40s and still be able to show up on camera like this and look this good. So this is a really attractive woman. But the Wall's the Wall. At the end of the day, when it comes to dating and everything, right, yo, women are putting this off into their 30s, and a lot of that shit comes from the bad advice from their mothers, right? And more and more throughout time and space, I'm like, yo, y'all really be sabotaging y'all daughter. Like, women do not be telling their daughters how to get a good life. Like they almost never. Like, it's never like good information. I remember one time I was talking to a young girl like years ago, She told me that she thinks that I like young women because they're easier to manipulate, and she said it. She said it as if she wasn't saying it to me, and we weren't having a conversation. But I'm like, damn, you know what? This is how she was taught to communicate. Like, she really don't know. All right, you're not coming across as charming. You're not making me want to meet you. You're coming across like you stupid. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But what I'm speaking to is this bad game. Nah, fam. Listen, if you're gonna have your whole phase, you want to have your party phase, you gotta encourage girls to stop that shit by 25, so that they have time to meet that guy. Cause you can meet a guy in your 30s, you can have a kid in your 30s. It's just that it's going to be harder. It's tougher. It's tougher on the body, and you get closer and closer to that geriatric pregnancy, and it becomes tougher to carry that child. And you can't beat the system. Stop trying to beat the system, because women are trying too hard to put off the inevitable. Now we've gotten to where with the help of science, people can look better for longer, but at the same time, the clock is the clock. All right, a woman in her 40s is still a woman in her 40s. Now, I know it's not very profound, but that's what I got to say about that. Hey, somebody wrote right here. It's true. That's why I don't listen to older, miserable, single ladies. Damn. All right. Anyway, we trying to run through a few topics. I don't know who these people are. So I came across this page, right, because it's called Pixie Mill Scam. So apparently there was a company called Pixie Mill. So matter of fact, let's go ahead and go over their page. I have not heard this shit. So it says, sign a petition for thousands of stolen dollars by Pixie Mills through fake pop-up events, fake catering packages, and fraudulent transactions. Okay.